address the quality of the natural environment. And the only natural environment that's on this site is the beach. And you people have fought hard to make it public, and I think you need to fight just as hard to make sure it's there for our children and their children, and not gone tomorrow. I'm going to turn it over to Joel.
Can everyone hear me all right? For the record, my name is Joel Favazza, 111 Main Street. Today I'm going to briefly talk about Pavilion Beach. Tonight and in previous meetings, there's been a lot said about Pavilion Beach by some people who have only taken interest in it in the last 12 months. Hopefully I can set the record straight tonight. I'm going to go over a brief history of the beach, explain the changes it's undergone, I'll explain the risks it's facing currently with this proposed seawall. Some of the things we've heard Pavilion Beach is remarkably stable. It's not true. It's actually undergoing constant change, and there's a lot of evidence to support that. You've heard Pavilion Beach is simply a pocket beach, just a little plat of sand in Gloucester Harbor. That's not true either. In fact, what you see now as Pavilion Beach is a small portion of what Pavilion Beach used to be, and what Pavilion Beach could be if treated properly. Now you've also heard, and they corrected their numbers tonight, and I applaud them for that. We've been hearing that we had a 100-year seawall running the length of Beauport property. Tonight they were a little more precise. But again, their claim that there's no adverse impact is simply not true. And we've heard that there's no remaining dune activity, no remaining barrier beach activity, that the beach is basically dead, and that's not true either. Quick history lesson. Pavilion Beach used to be a wide, large, sandy beach. It stretched from the western side of the Fleming Canal all the way to the fort. This is a shot from 1870, taken approximately at the Fleming Canal, looking east toward the fort. And here's a shot in 1870 at the fort, looking west toward the canal. Now, to me, that does not look like a pocket beach. That does not resemble Half Moon Beach. As for the seawall, again, very similar to the pictures we've seen, where there is no substantial wall, you have active dune processes, you have landward migration of sand. Where the wall has been in place, you have a drop in beach height, you have a narrowing of the beach. And again, this is only in the last 50 years. Further evidence to support that is comparative photography. This is 1960s, this is Fort Square, here's the corner where those stone steps are that we looked at earlier. You'll notice the height of the beach runs parallel with the height of this wall. And this is a photo taken a few days ago. You'll notice that the beach is steep, significant amounts of sand have been lost, boulders are exposed, a drain pipe is exposed, and just to clarify the record, this wall has actually had significant repair work. You can see this top of this wall has been repaired a couple times because it does deteriorate and fall in. So as it claims to stability, I don't see it supported by the evidence. So currently what we have on site is this last remaining dune area. Here you see it holding off the spring tide. And where the beach has been eroded, you see the waves impacting the existing building. And when that happens, you get scouring. Here's an example where a wave crashed against the building, energy transferred up and energy transferred down. The energy that went down took the sand with it. Now if you allow it to happen long enough, the beach height continues to drop, and eventually you get a drowned beach that simply disappears. Now there's examples of this all over the United States, but you actually don't have to leave Cape Ann to see some examples. Another one right in the so-called protected harbor is Cressy's Beach. This is Cressy's Beach in 1900, wide, sandy, flat. Around 1934, the city erected a seawall at the back of Cressy's Beach. There's a postcard in 1935 showing the beach as was immediately after the wall went up. And of course, this is Cressy's Beach today. It's unrecognizable. It's devoid of sand, it's a boulder field, and you'll notice that the seawall has had to be rebuilt and built up many times because storms have come through and destroyed it. Another example here in Cape Ann is Good Harbor Beach versus Long Beach. Good Harbor uses an active dune system. Long Beach elected to use a concrete vertical seawall. This is a recent picture of Long Beach. Now, I want you to pay attention because we have a vertical concrete seawall with large boulders at the base for stability. Sounds awfully familiar to what's being planned for Pavilion Beach. Now, as to claims that Pavilion Beach is dead, it's no longer an active dune site, it's no longer a barrier beach, that's simply not true. This picture was taken in April of 2012. You see dune formations, you see vegetation, and then, unfortunately, in May 2012, you see a city tractor plowing through the dune. When he was done, the beach was leveled all the way to the wall of Beauport's property line. And that was coincidentally, and unfortunately, a month or so before the Concom third-party reviewer came to view the beach, at which time she failed to observe the dune. And this is why. However, left alone, the beach is fighting back. October 2012, dune rebounding. January 2013, dune height even higher. And again, as for no more active processes, again, in that, what they've been calling the breach, you have landward migration of sand, you have storm overwash depositing sand, and at the northern end of the parking lot, you have piles and piles of wind-blown landward migration fine sand. So what does this all mean? It doesn't mean you can't build a hotel at the beach. It just means you have to evaluate some alternatives on the beach side of this property. And so far, no one has come forward, and no one has been asked to come forward, and no alternatives have been discussed. Now, for instance, do you realize if Beauport were to reconfigure their garage and move it north, only 10 feet from where it's planned to go right now, and put their seawall on the back side of their harbor walk, this project would restore 30 feet of width to Pavilion Beach. And that's 30 feet where natural barriers could be installed and maintained. And that's a better result. But you don't get the better result unless you push back on the applicant and say, you can do better, and you're going to need to do better, because this neighborhood, this city, and that historic beach deserves better. And that's what I'm asking you to do tonight. And I'll turn it back over to Mike.